Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, and today I am giving you another book haul. I recently went to my local Barnes & Noble and I wasn't planning on getting that many books, but I went a little crazy and I bought 7 different books, and some of them I've been really wanting to read for a long time. Some of them, let's try that again because my phone just fell off and went crazy. So I have 7 books to show you. I'm really excited. It's a mix of classics and just YA and a bunch of different things, but let's get started. This book I have is Throne of the Crescent Moon, and it says it's the first book in the Crescent Moon Kingdoms series. And I just really liked the back. I've never heard of this book before, and I just really liked what it said on the back, so I decided to pick it up. This book I hope all of you have heard of, maybe not all of you have read, but it is Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I wasn't looking to buy this book, but I just passed by it on, I think it's like it was a shelf that said something like best-selling classics or something, and I was like, this is a classic that I haven't read. It's really short. Let's see how many pages this is. It's 107 pages. I could read it in a day. So it's really short, and it's a classic that I haven't read, that basically everybody who's read classics has read. So I decided to pick it up. The next book is The Enemy by Charlie Higginson. I read this book maybe 3 years ago, and I really liked it. And I had borrowed it from a friend. I didn't have my own copy. I was borrowing it from a friend. And by the time I got around to borrowing the second book from him, I didn't remember anything from this book. All I remember is it's like a post-apocalyptic tale with zombies involved, I think. And I remembered really liking it, but I was like, I should reread it before diving in to the second book, because I remember absolutely nothing. So I was like, my friend just moved, so I was like, if I just ask him to borrow it again, it would probably take him a month or 2 to find it. So I'm just going to buy my own copy and then probably borrow the rest from him. So I'm excited to read this again, and I love this cover. The cover that my friend had wasn't the same as this, so I'm really excited. The book I bought is Alive by Scott Sigler. I pretty much know nothing about this book. One of my favorite booktubers is Christine of Poland Bananas Books. I barely read anything that she reviews or buys, because it's not like we have extremely different tastes in books. I don't read as fast as her, for one, and number 2, I don't read as much of YA as she does. But she hauled this in her latest book haul, and it sounded really interesting. Apparently it's about this girl that wakes up with no memory inside a coffin. So I was like, that sounds really interesting. It kind of reminded me a little bit of More Than This by Patrick Ness. Not going to tell you why. But yeah, I'm really interested in reading, and I just love the blue cover. Is absolutely sweeping the nation, and that's because it is Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. This is the second book in the To Kill a Mockingbird duology. I'm going to say that for now because, as most of you probably know, To Kill a Mockingbird was written decades ago, and the second book never came out. Like, Harper Lee never wrote another book, and then she was like, just kidding, here's another one, and this one has deckled edging, and I just love it. I just love it, and I can't wait to read it. I read To Kill a Mockingbird when I was 15 years old in school in 8th grade. But since it's been about 5 years, I'm also going to reread that one because I hardly remember anything. There's 2 things that I remember, which are the basic themes of the book, I think, but nothing about them. Just the 2 facts. Her father is a lawyer who's defending a black man who was wrongly accused of a crime. And there's a mysterious neighbor named Boo Radley, I think, who never comes out of his house. And that's the only 2 things I remember about the book. So I have a copy of that. That's actually in one of my book hauls from last year, and I'm going to read that again before reading Ghost Out of Watchmen. So that should happen in like the next 2 months, I'm hoping, because I really want to get to this. So I'm excited. Next book I have here is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This one is becoming really popular, but that's not the reason I picked it up. I watched, again, Christine Poland Banana's book review, I almost said video on it, book review of this book, and I heard it has something to do with fairies, and for some reason that has always been a fascination of mine. Fairies was kind of like an escapism when I was a child. If I was having a bad day or anything, I'd go build a fairy house out in my lawn or in a tree, or I'd read a book on fairies. You know, I knew all of the fairy lore and like every single fact about fairies. I knew it up until I was like, I didn't grow out of it till I was like 12. It was really my escapism. Books and fairies were my escapism. So for some reason, I always have some type of attraction to books that involve fairies. And so this somehow involves fairies. So that's why I picked it up. I thought it sounded very interesting, especially the title too, A Court of Thorns and Roses. So the last book I have is called The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. And the only thing I know about this book is that it is Gone Girl-esque. And I read Gone Girl in 2012 when it first came out, and I absolutely loved it. And I also saw the film. You should see the film. It's amazing. So I'm subscribed to this guy on YouTube, and his YouTube name is Lee Reader, I think. I learned about him through Ariel Bissett, who's also another famous booktuber. She had him on her channel recently, and I really liked him. I went over to his channel and subscribed to him. You should all go subscribe to him if you haven't heard of him. He reads a wide variety of books, and he recently read this in the last month or so and reviewed it, and he loved it, and I was like, I loved Gone Girl. I loved Gillian Flynn. Fun fact, Gillian Flynn is my favorite author. My favorite adult author. I have different categories of favorite authors because of the wide variety of types of books that I read. So Gillian Flynn is my favorite adult author. Tamora Pierce is my favorite fantasy author. I don't really know who my favorite YA author is. It's kind of because I don't read that much YA anymore, but so this is my last book and that I bought, and I'm so excited to read it. I'm so happy. Don't ask me how much money I spent. It's embarrassing. So I actually finally got the Barnes & Noble membership card. I never had before, and I think it's just because, you know, normally I only buy 1 or 2 books and then I leave, or I finally got the Barnes & Noble membership card because I was like, I would save money on it this time because it's too much money. So I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.